You know, Western New Yorkers like being here. The weather is one of the reasons, all four seasons, access to the Great Lakes, and of course the food. But many also brag about our low cost of living.
Yeah, we do all the time, but we also wondered, is that really the case? 2 on your sides, Michael Wooten puts it to the verified test for us tonight.
You've probably seen the headlines, Buffalo on these lists of the most affordable places in the country. Many of us brag about our seemingly low cost of living. But is it true? We want to verify, is it relatively cheap to live here? We'll look at the cost for transportation, utilities, food, and the big one, housing. That's where we'll start. Our sources are Clear Capital, a real estate analytics firm, and Apartment List, which tracks rental prices. Buying a home in Buffalo is a bargain. The median price in this metro area is $141,000. Compare that to $240,000 for the country as a whole. However, prices here rose 9% from 2017 to last year, much more than the 3% increase for the rest of the country. So enjoy the low prices while they last. As far as rentals, the median 2-bedroom apartment in Buffalo goes for $870. Compare that to $1,170 across the country. Again, pretty good here. Next up, transportation. AAA says gasoline in the Buffalo metro area is going for $2.51 a gallon this week. Nationally, the average, $2.36. Here's Gas Buddy's heat map. There are only a few pockets around the country with more expensive gas than us. And what about car insurance? Our source here is thezebra.com. It's a comparison website for car insurance quotes. It says the average yearly premium in Buffalo is almost $1,700. 19% higher than the national average. A lot of our paycheck goes to Wegmans, Tops, or other grocery stores. So we looked at food prices. The nonprofit group Feeding America says the average meal in Erie County costs about $3.05. That's higher than the national average, although just slightly. And every month you get utility bills that add up. The U.S. Energy Information Administration breaks down electric bills by state. The average monthly cost in New York for 2017 was $103, below the national average. That's a bit deceiving, though. We pay the 8th highest rate for electricity in the entire country. We just use less of it than, say, places that run the air conditioning all year long. Which brings us to natural gas bills. Here we pay big time. The American Gas Association says for 2017, natural gas here cost about 10% higher than the national average. And we use a bunch. Added up, and the average New Yorker spent more than $1,000 in 2017 for natural gas, compared to just $661 nationally. So finally, the big picture. For that, we turn to the Economic Policy Institute. The group claims to be nonpartisan, although much of its funding does come from unions. The EPI crunched the numbers, looking at some of the costs we examined, but also adding in things like taxes, a big one. The group's analysis found the cost of living for a 2-parent, 2-child family in this region will be $7,339 per month. Here's how that breaks down. More than $1,000 of it in taxes. Among the 100 largest metros in the country, Buffalo has the 36th highest cost of living. That means 64 places are cheaper. So here's what we can verify. Some expenses here are relatively cheap, like housing, but you have to factor in things like high taxes. That's why Buffalo is not as affordable as some of those lists claim. I'm Michael Wooten, Channel 2 News.